News 7x7 is a unique channel dedicated to the news from dairy industry. Every week you receive brief on top 7 dairy news on this YouTube channel from India and abroad. These news could be seen in detail on our channel dairynews7x7.com also. You may write in the comment box on the dairy topics of your interest. We will try to develop news feature on the same. Your constant feedback and patronage to this channel is our source of top 7 dairy news from the week of November 21st will cover. India celebrates 101st birthday of Dr Verghese Kurien as National Milk Day. FSSAI proposes standards for mithais and namkeens. CSI report focuses on ethnoveterinary for AMR. Milk inflation at a 7.5-year high. Prices are lower in South. India managed to get FTA with Australia by excluding sensitive dairy sector. Wilk presents world's first cell-based yogurt in Israel. And less burping, more meat and milk, how to tackle the climate crisis. India celebrated 101st birthday of Dr. Verghese Kurien on 26 November. This day is also known as National Milk Day. This time it has been a roller coaster year for the dairy industry across the world. Indian dairy industry in particular is experiencing a scream of excitement, exhilaration, fear and pure heaven. Russia-Ukraine war, high inflationary pressures on cost of milk production as well as processing, lumpy skin disease and heavy shortage of fodder are a few of the highlights of this year. The current chaotic situation in dairy industry is an outcome of poor milk pricing policies for both farmers and consumers. We always try to make the urban population enjoy lower dairy and food prices at the cost of the poor farmers. This ongoing correction is inevitable. That reminds me of Dr. Kurien, who once said that I am one of those who firmly believe that our cities thrive at the expenses of our villages, that our industries exploit agriculture. In today's scenario, it is the state level politics which is impacting the profitability of dairy sector. The chief ministers of large milk producing states are trying to take control of the state dairy federation run by dairy cooperatives and farmers. Such interventions by the federal system in dairy sector may not be a healthy practice. Today is the right time to reiterate Dr. Kurien's perspective on government running businesses in India. He said that I began to see then that when the government enters business, the citizens of India gets cheated. The greatest repercussion of the government entering into business is that instead of safeguarding people from vested interest, they themselves become the vested interest. It is high time for all stakeholders to follow footsteps of Dr. Kurien and let the dairy farmers of the country be empowered to run the largest dairy ecosystem of the world. FSSAI is proposing to bring in standards and labeling norms for traditional Indian sweets and namkeen sector. The draft regulation defines Indian mithais as sweets and namkeens as salty, savory products that are traditional and innovative based from Indian heritage and culture. The regulator is proposing standards categorizing traditional Indian sweets into milk-based, non-milk-based and composite sweets. Milk-based mithais include milk, concentration-based, chana-based and khoa-based mithais. Non-milk-based traditional sweets refer to those that are grain-based, dry fruits, nuts and seed-based mithais. In terms of labeling norms, the draft regulation proposes that a mithai package should have the name of the product such as khoa barfi along with relevant categories such as khoa-based mithai on the label along with the percent and type of milk solids under the list of ingredients on the label. Industry players have expressed some concerns over the implementation and impact on the growth of the sector, which has around 1 lakh sweet shops in unorganized sector. Delhi-based think tank Center for Science and Environment CSC released a special report titled Ethnoveterinary Medicine, an Alternative to Antibiotics for the Dairy Sector to mark World Antimicrobial Awareness Week on November 21st. Ethnoveterinary medicine involves the use of traditional or herbal preparations in treating diseases of cattle instead of antibiotics. Antimicrobial resistance AMR has been recognized as a silent pandemic and is a global public health threat today. Some 4.95 million deaths were associated with and 1.95 million deaths directly attributable to bacterial AMR across the world in 2019, according to a study in the journal The Lancet. Waste from farms, factories, community and healthcare settings contributes to the emergence and spread of AMR through environment routes. Similarly, better biosecurity, timely vaccination, use of alternatives and appropriate waste management can prevent infectious diseases in food animal production systems. Earlier this week, Mother Dairy hiked the price of full cream milk by rupee 1 to cost rupees 64 per litre. A month ago, Amul raised the price of full cream milk by rupees 2. On November 3rd, Avin also raised the price of full cream milk by rupees 12 a litre. Inflation of milk and milk products has continued to go up even though India's overall retail inflation came down in October. Milk inflation accelerated to 7.7% in October, the highest level seen in 7.5 years. Inflation of ice cream accelerated to 10.5%, highest level in at least 8 years. Curd inflation was at 7.6% and baby food inflation at 8.8% was again the highest in the last 8 years. In November, the average price of a litre of milk in India was close to 55. In November 2017, it was 42, about 13 rupees cheaper. The rise in the price of milk was not uniform across all cities. Only 50 to 62% member in the poorest 20% household consume milk or curd, whereas 86 to 91% did so in the richest 20% of households. The Australian Parliament has approved the India-Australia interim free trade agreement expected to increase bilateral trade to an estimated $45 to $50 billion in 5 years from the existing $31 billion. The pact set to benefit labor-intensive Indian industries such as garments, leather, footwear, gems and jewelry, furniture and health through elimination of import duties and liberalized visa regime for students and professionals will enter into force 30 days after an exchange of written notifications. But New Delhi has managed to exclude the sensitive dairy sector and most agricultural items from the ECTA. Australia too will benefit, including in sectors such as wines and wool, as India has agreed to provide zero duty market access to 85% of Australian goods. Wilk, a developer of authentic cell-cultured human and animal milk and milk components, has announced the successful development of world's first yogurt developed with cell-cultured milk fat. The hybrid product has been validated by external laboratories, confirming it meets the necessary chemical and biological requirements, and presented to select members of the Israeli public for tasting. The new yogurt is a first of its kind hybrid product incorporating milk fat developed through cell culturing technology to provide the full nutritional benefits found in real milk fats. Milk fat has a significant influence on final dairy products, providing the distinctive flavors and textures unique to foods such as yogurt. It is precisely for this reason that the company chose yogurt as the first hybrid product containing cell-cultured fat. Africa's livestock farmers are at the forefront of climate change. Images of parched landscapes littered with the carcasses of starved cattle are becoming all too familiar as droughts increase in frequency and severity. This is the first time that food and agriculture have featured so prominently at COP27. The ruminant digestive system is responsible for 27% of methane emissions from the human activity, and methane in turn contributes more than 15% of the greenhouse gas released in the atmosphere. 3 strategies of raising feed intake using younger and less fibrous fodder and feeding more concentrates would lead to an average 12% decrease in enteric methane per unit of milk or meat and an increase in animal productivity by a median of 17%. In contrast, the other 5 strategies lowered the enteric methane emissions per unit of milk and meat and reduced the emissions per animal by 21% without compromising animal performance. Putting additives in livestock feed to inhibit methane production is one, but these additives also add to farmers' costs. Dairy News 7x7 channel with news update from last 7 days. To continue receiving update from this channel, I Kuldeep Sharma request you to subscribe this channel and share and like the video, and also don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.